today Obama comes out and accuses John McCain of having a heartless economic policy. Says, well, if you get into trouble and you need help, you're on your own. You got hoodwinked into getting in one of these adjustable rate mortgages. Too bad, you're on your own. John McCain's not going to help you. And this is a typical criticism of the left that's often levied at free markets and capitalism, and it's so false because those on the left believe that when people are left free, they won't help each other, so they jump in and they institute government programs like welfare, like Social Security, like public education, and Medicaid and Medicare. So let's look at these programs. Let's look at welfare. See, the benevolent do-gooders on the left that think government is the solution to everything, they think, well, nobody will help anybody out if you get laid off or out of work or can't find work, or some people are just going to look at you and let you starve in the street. So they institute welfare. This is going to help people. Well, let's look at how it's helped people. People on welfare never create any wealth or any net worth for themselves. Not because they're bad people, because the system is designed to keep you only on a paycheck from the government. It penalizes you for going out and working and being involved in productive behavior that can actually and has actually been proven to improve your financial situation. You don't own a home, you can't get into a job and get into the workforce where you can begin to increase your earnings potential. And so what happens to people on welfare? They sit in intergenerational poverty, generation to generation to generation. People that are on welfare, you talk to them lots of times, their parents were on welfare, their grandparents were on welfare, and their children will be on welfare. We've got 3 and 4 generations now of people that have never known anything but being on welfare. And they live in poverty. They live a rundown, beat-down existence, dependent on the government. But yet you take that same poor person, you let him get a job, you let him develop some skills in the workforce, and you quickly find that his earnings potential starts to go up. He's able to provide for himself, and he's able to attract help from concerned individuals that see he's out there giving it his best. And so, people that don't get quote-unquote welfare, they wind up a lot better off than the people who receive this benevolent government program of welfare. Let's look at education. A poor black child in the middle of Harlem that has received a position in a Catholic school from his parish can do very well in education, and they do very well in the education in the Catholic system for the most part. But yet this same poor black child that is put into a public school because the benevolent do-gooders in the socialist government think that nobody will help this child out if they don't institute public education. Well, when he's inside their system, why don't we go to the south side of Chicago and see how the people in the benevolent government system are doing there? And then let's go into the private system and see how poor black children are doing there. Oh, you didn't know that poor black children can get into the private system. Yeah, they can. There are poor black children in the private system. There are minorities. There are low-income families that have their children in private institutions. Now, through charity, through individual charity, not government benevolence, but from people-to-people charity. people that care about poor black children getting an education. People care about poor minorities getting an education. People care about low-income families, their children still receiving quality education. Yeah, and it's in the private system where you see these individuals reaching to the same standards as their more privileged counterparts. The achievement gap is more pronounced in the public schools. So how's that public benevolence working out? How's that working out for kids on the south side of Chicago in those inexcusable public schools? What about Social Security, that poor old grandma that can barely put any money away? Well, you know what? The money she puts away, if she's able to put some money in a private bank, she can go home, earn 4.5–5% in cash money on a federally guaranteed account. And Social Security is so-called guaranteed. It earns 1–2% in the Social Security Trust Fund. And then the same people that guarantee it turn around and raid the fund every time the country gets in a little bit of a fiscal crisis. So you know what? If you had $500 in a private bank account or in private investments in the stock market 60 years ago or 40 years ago, and you were able to put even $10 back a week, you'd be a lot better off than the money that you put into Social Security and you're ready to retire right now. I know people in my generation, it's not even going to be close. We're going to be lucky if the Social Security system is even around when I retire. My money's going to give me zero interest. Matter of fact, it's going to give me negative interest. Because I'm going to lose money. I'm going to get less back than I put in. I guarantee it. I guarantee I'm going to get less back than I put in. And I could go stick that same money in cash. Not even any type of investment vehicle, but cash. And earn 4.5%. I got a bank account that's earning that right now. Online bank account with Citi Financial. Citibank. Gives me 4.5% interest in a private bank. I don't have to put anything in there and it grows a little bit. Oh, but if you say, oh, let's switch Social Security over to the private system. Oh, what? What? You want to go private with Social Security? You hate poor people. You hate old people. You want people to be out on the street. Well, you know what? It's Social Security that's going to put people out on the street because I've been paying in there for 20, 30 years. When I get ready to retire, nothing's going to be there. It's government that puts you out on the street. What about health care? You know, you can go to a charity hospital. My son is a patient at a charity hospital for children with bone problems, and he receives great, excellent quality care there in a privately funded charity hospital. But you know, if my son goes to Medicaid or Medicare, he's limited. He can only see certain doctors. He can only receive certain treatments. He can only receive certain medications. But if you say, hey, let's eliminate Medicare, Medicaid, let's put some money back into these charity hospitals that used to be so vibrant back in the day in this country, and let poor people be taken care of through that system. Oh, you hate poor people. Well, you want to take away their only option. Well, guess what? That's not their only option. They got taken care of a lot better back in the 40s and 50s and 60s at the charity hospitals. Oh, you didn't know they had charity hospitals? Yeah. In this country, they had whole hospitals, big, tall, huge buildings that were paid for by charitable donations. Because guess what? People didn't want to see people suffering in their neighborhoods, in their communities, and on their streets. Amazing, isn't it? People actually stepped up to the plate and did something to help people out. So who is it? Who is it that wants to put people out on the street? Who is it that is heartless and uncaring? Is it capitalism? Is it the private system? Or is it the government system? The answer is pretty clear to me. Give me heartless capitalism over this benevolent government any day.